continue. Oh, do I have the sound turned on? I do. It is what it says. I know there are other Wizardry games. I have not seen or played any of the other Wizardry games. This is, I think, the second time I've said that about a game. First one was the Red-Headed Stepchild of Zelda. The other NES game that I'm thinking of is also in that. Okay, I have already made characters. Well, I was going to show that process. That's fine. I can just pull these up and talk about them. Everybody's evil at the moment because I guess that's where we ended up. Not that that's the order I really want you in, but it's fine. Training grounds is where you make characters. Maze is where you actually go down. I think there are 10 floors. I've never beaten the game. I don't know if when I was a kid we ever beat the game. The tavern is where you rest for free to heal. That's the only time I use it. Because if you pay to sleep, your characters age. And it's entirely unnecessary. You recover your magic with the free sleep. Then you go into the maze. You don't go anywhere. You use the magic to heal. Go back and rest again for free. You don't have to waste money and age on sleeping. Adventurers Inn is where you pull in characters that you've made. The trading post is the trading post. The temple. Resurrect people, fix ailments. I can't go there because I don't need their services. I don't even know. I'm not entirely sure what they do. I think it's just... Is it just resurrecting? Anyway. This is technically a role-playing game in that there are character classes. This is the party I had made. I will show that. Only 2 of these classes can you start with. I'm sure I have save states for this game, but I don't know what they look like. Oh, actually, oh, no, this is just where I, Divvy Gold is just that. It takes all the money in the party and splits it, which is the opposite of helpful. This is party adjustment. Where do I save that? Anyway. Lords are fighter cleric hybrid type classes, they take higher stats than you can start with. Whenever you level, your stats can go up or down. Guess what I make sure happens. So, and that change has happened, well, 2 levels ago, because you start at a level 1 Lord when you change class. So they've had all their stats go up by 2 since then. But you can't start as one, so this Lord started as a cleric. So that, go ahead, get a start on acquiring some of your spells, and then when you have the stats, for context, gnomes, and I pick gnomes because they're more evenly distributed. Technically, one class gets a better total, but most of it's in luck, so I don't use hobbits. But gnomes are well distributed stats and have the second most total points. But a Lord requires 15, 11, 10, 14, 15 strength, 11 IQ, 10 piety, 14 vitality, and 10 agility. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong one. God damn it. 15 strength, 12 IQ, 12 piety, 15 vitality, 14 agility, 15 luck. So yeah, that took, 7? 8. They started at 7 and went to 15. It took 8 levels of cleric to get the stats necessary to get Lord. But they're stronger than clerics and get cleric magic, so they can wear better gear than a regular cleric. Samurais, you can roll high enough stats to start with, which is why some of theirs are already maxed out. I started with dwarf for them because there was only 1 point difference, and they were higher in some of the relevant places, namely strength and vitality, than a gnome. So their agility was lower, and I needed to do something about that. Luck, I didn't care as much about. It's not that it doesn't matter. Just wasn't the requirements for samurai, and part of why I wanted to with that higher strength to start. They also don't have to change class, so they're fine, and that's also why they're neutral. I'll get to that. They needed a 15 strength, 11 IQ, the 10 piety, 14 vitality, and 10 agility. Which rolls are random. Well, rolls have a regular loop, and then sometimes there's a higher one. And they slowly get mage spells. They and lords are kind of counterparts for the fighter, cleric, fighter, mage. If I remember right, they maybe get more than one attack as they level. Ninjas, I have named them what their class is. Ninja isn't one yet. We are evil so that they can do that when they have the stats. Lords have to happen when they're good. Also, why the samurai is neutral. A good and an evil character cannot be in the same party together. But lords have to be converted into lords with a good character, and a ninja has to be converted into with an evil character. So I started, and there are friendly encounters that you can choose to fight or not that have a chance of moving you from one to the other. Neutral doesn't move, which is why the people who need to change alignment, I can't start them as neutral, because then they will never get where they need to be. But the thief needs to work up to 17 in every stat, which is why they're still a thief and not a ninja yet. And then they do better without a weapon at all. I don't remember about armor. They fight better both unarmed and unarmored. They still get to deal with traps with the rate of a thief. No spell casting involved. They crit more. But I gotta work my way to it. And the appropriately named wizard. Wizards are a mashup class of mage and cleric. They get both. They can wear the better. They're like sages from Dragon Warrior 3 in that they get both sets of spells. They can wear the better set of gear. And all you need for them to start is a 12 IQ and piety, because clerics are 11 piety, with mages are 11 IQ. You need slightly better and both to start as a wizard. They're real easy to start with. Thieves, technically you just need an 11 agility. Fighters, I think it's just an 11 strength. But I don't go for the base ones except as a precursor to the relevant ones. And why only one wizard? Well, at least for starting out, I don't know if I had plans to change it, but only the first 3 characters are in the front row. They're the only ones that can do physical attacks. The back row, the last 3 characters, get to stand there and defend and do nothing, or cast. If it's stuff I don't need to cast at, I'm not bothering, but also I'm trying to level them up, and more bodies means that XP gets divided across more bodies. Back to that, but also regarding the alignments. What I had done with the Lord was I have my neutral samurai and just the good cleric go out until the good cleric has the stats to convert to Lord. Then I wait for enough of the, really at that point I could have the wizard in a party, but then they'd be in the front row. So then the samurai and the now Lord alone until I get enough of those friendly encounters that I fight anyway to convert to this so that they could be in the same party with the thief. Though I could also do that the other way around. Just have the samurai and the thief in the party until the thief has enough levels, and it'll also happen faster because they need a bunch more levels to be to level up into ninja, and then I can convert them all to good. But that's how that process goes, and that's just a lot of grinding in a relatively safe part of the dungeon. Meaning not leaving the first floor, really. But that being said, if you take a nap in the stables, it's free, you don't age. Actually, if you don't need to level, it will tell you how much more you need. And nice little thing that I appreciate is that when you back out after someone's slept, it automatically moves down to the next party member. Now, it does, other than showing you what you can versus can't equip, it doesn't tell you how good it is, or what it does. I have to look that up in a FAQ. So, and then, eventually you loop around. But, see. What they can equip is pretty straightforward. A thief starts to have, no, you can't wear that. So, being able to change name after the fact is helpful because when I'm starting, with the exception of the one dwarven samurai, I don't know which one I'm going to end up with. So I don't want to name it with an assumption. so I should say what the starting stats are. Humans, worst overall, that they have the worst total. They're also worst at piety. They have an 8 strength, IQ, vitality, and agility, a 9 luck, and 5 piety. Elves, 7 strength, 10 IQ and piety, 6 vitality, 9 agility, 6 luck. Dwarves, 10 strength, 7 IQ, 10 piety and vitality, 5 agility, 6 luck. Gnomes, 7 strength and IQ, 10 piety, 8 vitality, 10 agility, 7 luck. Best distribution. For everyone but the samurai. Hobbits are 5 strength, 7 IQ and piety, 6 vitality, 10 agility, 15 luck. So, and then I would save state. Here, because I actually got one of the good ones just right off. I'll save that, but the random is basically well, I don't know if it's actually a loop when it comes to the randomization of what happens to your stats when you rest. It's more of a, if I hit it after the same amount of time every time, I will get the same result. If I'm a little before, I'll get something else. If I'm a little after, I'll get something else. So if I've gone as quickly and as timed out as I can for a bit and I've gotten nothing, I'll just let a little time pass and then do a new save state and then keep trying. With this, from low to high roll loops, and then there's the potential interjection of a variety of stats, but sometimes you get a good roll. The lowest good roll I've seen is maybe a 15. That's I think that coincides with the lowest basic bonus being a 5, maybe. And 18 maybe being the highest normal bonus. I've seen something in the 20s before, I think. But there isn't, to my knowledge, a breakdown of the best rolls possible. But if you roll well, this is how you can start with the samurai, despite them needing pretty good stats across most things. But you just don't get enough for a lord. And then, as you add your stats in, it tells you what you can be. I'm good, so it doesn't matter how good I make that. Thief isn't going to show up. So, and then you do have to spend all the points. be perfectly mediocre. No. Inspect does the same thing, but without having them in your party. And read is how you look at what spells they have. Because, with the exception of Dios and Bad Dios, which is the healing, the cure light wounds and inflict light wounds, basically, you have to look up what the fuck they do, because it doesn't tell you. Nowhere does it tell you what any of it does. So, I have to look it up. And I have to keep those guys open while I'm playing, so I can know what the fuck I'm doing. Not a dynamic I'm a fan of, but it is what it is. Oh, actually, yeah. Lots of names that don't mean anything to me. So, oh, yeah, once you go into the create, when you're at this point, you can heal. You haven't taken a single step. You can heal, and then you can go back up. See, you back out to this, and then you can take the stairs up. You start out in a... Well, this is a thing that you need to map it. Other people have already done that job for me, so I don't have to map it. But encounters happen more often going through doors, so especially when I'm looking for that friendly encounter thing, I'd just go back and forth through this door over and over again, and then back up into town. Anyway, other than... actually, I probably should show a fight, because I can. See, all I can do is parry because I'm in the back row. And the speed at which I click through this changes the randomization of how the fight goes. Now, you can just disarm knowing what it is, or I can say load state to knowing what it is and then do that. Either way, but not have to use up the spell, but that's how that goes. Obviously it was a pretty straightforward encounter, and then Oh look, you took a hit point of damage and cast a spell. It doesn't recover the damage, but it recovers the spell. That's the thing about that, which is why you have to stay, get your magic back, use it, and then, which, while I was down there, I could have healed and then come up and been fine. But I'm not saving this. It's just this is how it looks. You grind and make levels and make money so you can have better gear so that you can go down a dungeon and there's some sort of plot thing at the bottom. I don't remember the particulars. It's another game that doesn't actually tell you once you're in it what the fuck is going on. Enemy at the bottom that you need to deal with. There are increasing levels of difficulty, not just in monsters, but also in traps on the dungeon, spots that spin you around. So, having a map that already labels where all that is, super helpful. But, yeah, it's a go through the dungeon and find the enemy at the end thing. And especially with how much, especially the beginning when I don't even have the classes of character that I'm after yet, how much grinding there is, I don't know whether or not it would be engaging, but maybe just in that it's something different. I don't know. But this is technically an option.